The NFL Top 100 was very interesting this year, partially because there were so many players injured in 2017 that essentially there was a lot of guys who were either lower on the list or essentially just kicked off the list entirely. And when it comes to it and all, I definitely thought that it was slightly controversial, but not exactly. I mean, obviously, we're going to disagree with the players here and there. Obviously, players are going to have their biases, fans are going to have their biases, analysts are going to have their biases and whatnot. And when it comes to it, there's only a couple things that I thought that were worth noting in some of my complaints right here. I thought one of my complaints was essentially Alex Smith did not make the list. Now, when it comes to Alex Smith, I'm not his biggest fan. I am not going to deny one bit. And when it comes to it, Alex is definitely a kind of guy who is known for being a game manager. This year, he definitely did not look as if he was a game manager. This guy was throwing the ball deep, he was making game winning plays and whatnot. And for a guy that has made the top 100 before, I definitely thought he was going to make it this year, especially when this was his best year of his career. And sure, you could look at statistics of him being the best, but he definitely changed who he was as a person. Now, will Alex Smith do this next year? Maybe not. I really doubt it that he will even get close to that because, well, essentially, this is his best year of his career. It's kind of hard to do better than your best, essentially. And he's not a young player. The guy was drafted in 2005, I want to say. So when it comes to it, if the players are basing about how they would do in the following season, yeah, sure, I kind of get the players' logic here. And I thought there was another thing to note was Dak Prescott did not make the list. And one thing I want to say about Dak Prescott is he should be labeled as the game manager in the NFL, not Alex Smith. Everyone thinks Alex Smith is the poster child for that title, but in reality, it should be Dak Prescott because looking at it, I think he's more of a game manager. Alex Smith can at least throw a nice deep ball here and there. Dak Prescott really cannot. He really, when he throws a deep ball, it really looks like a prayer. I really saw why he didn't really take too many deep balls during his rookie year because he wasn't very good at it. And when it comes to Dak, he really relies on the run game. Now, when it comes to the Colin Cowherd argument, it's definitely another story because Cowherd's always talking about how Dak Prescott just has an average run game, he'll be good. Well, Ezekiel Elliott, even if he gets average numbers, he's still a threat on the football field because they're still going to stack the box against him because Ezekiel is still one of the great running backs in this league, even though he missed 6 games. So when it comes to Dak, I mean, he's not a bad quarterback at all. He's just a game manager, and I think a lot of people forget that this guy, you have to label him. And to be honest, he's more of a game manager than Alex Smith. Now, there are some other guys on the list that a lot of people didn't like the ranking. They thought Case Keenum was a little bit high, and if you base off of stats, Case Keenum was better than a lot of quarterbacks, but Case is definitely a noodle arm kind of guy, and going to Denver where he's going to have a lesser O-line and he's going to have a lesser number one receiver, I definitely think that he might take a dip back. Now, could he still be effective with the Denver Broncos? Yeah, sure, maybe he would prove me wrong. Who knows? But when it comes to Case Keenum, he's definitely might have just had his best year of his career. He just might not be that effective in the 2018 season. So I'm a little bit confused about the logic here, but I guess a lot of people put Case Keenum higher because I guess Case Keenum, won more than Dak Prescott and Alex Smith. I definitely think he accomplished more, especially when he made it to the NFC Conference game. And to be honest, is Case Keenum a bad quarterback? No, but top 60 player is a little bit controversial and whatnot because I would still rather have Philip Rivers. I think Philip Rivers, I definitely think he has a different personality. I feel like if Rivers wins the Super Bowl, he's going to the Hall of Fame, but when it comes to it all, those were definitely my controversies. And then some were like Jalen Ramsey and Patrick Peterson, where they were ranked. And when it comes to it all, I definitely think that Jalen Ramsey had a better season, but hey, when it comes to Pat Peterson, he's usually going to be the better player here and there. I remember a lot of people had a lot of criticism for the Carson Wentz thing being ranked so high on the list. And to be honest, I thought that ranking was perfectly fine. I mean, the guy would have been the go-ahead MVP if he didn't get injured. And a lot of people think that Dak Prescott is better than Carson Wentz, but to be honest, I definitely think that Carson Wentz played more with less than what Dak Prescott did his rookie year. And Carson Wentz, I definitely do have a bias to outdoor quarterbacks and indoor quarterbacks, so that's why I kind of think right there. And to be honest, I had really no problems on the rankings. Like when it came to Russell Wilson's rankings, especially, I didn't really have too much of a problem with that, even though I'm a Russell Wilson critic. But I was like, yeah, you know me, didn't have much around him, had a great season. Yeah, put him at number 11. I don't care. I thought that was good and all that. Sure, I'm a Drew Brees critic, but I'm a Drew Brees critic based off of the compared to the great quarterbacks, not compared to where he ranks in the modern quarterback there. Because guys, you could argue top 5 quarterback every year, you could say. Plus, one of my biggest criticism when it comes to the NFL top 100 every single year is wide receivers are valued way too high. Same thing with running backs. To be honest, wide receivers and running backs aren't that important in the NFL. Hate to break it to you, fantasy football owners. And to be honest, those were really my only kind of complaints right there. What were your some of the complaints on? Let's leave your comments down below. I'll see you guys next time. Peace.